How are you during this eclipse portal? Now, I'm recording this the day after the lunar eclipse in September, after the full moon. It's going to drop on the new moon, and that's going to be one of these big eclipse moments. And this has been really powerful. And I'm sure it has been big for you too, because we are all in this beautiful soup together. Before we get into our topic though, I want to talk to you about some exciting things I have coming up. I have a new class that I'm offering you all. I have a new class I'm going to be offering you all. It will be over Zoom October 3rd, and it's all about connecting and deepening your relationship with your spirit guides. Working with your spiritual team, working with your spirit guides, getting to know them, building that relationship. So wherever you are in your spiritual growth and your spiritual journey, I really feel you can get a lot out of this class. If you are already working with your spiritual guides, this is about deepening that relationship. If you haven't really started that relationship, this is getting you in contact with so that you can really know when you're on your path, when you're in alignment, and how to tune into the wisdom that is there for you. The other event I have coming up is October 25th. Info to register for both of these events are on my website, jodiannpsychicmedium.com. It will be an All Hallows Eve, greetings from the other side. I'm doing this event with the beautiful Tara Diana. We're coming together to give you live messages. When the veil is thin, when the witchiness is witching, we're going to be getting messages from loved ones and guides coming through for you. This is a live event, the 25th of October, and all the information will be on my website. Okay, our little coven is growing. I got to meet some of you at Pagan Pride. I met some of you at First United Church recently. And to tell you the honest truth, it's almost shocking to me when you guys tell me you're in the earbud coven. I don't even know how to react in person. So I want to take this moment to give you my heartfelt gratitude for growing this passion project with me and being here, spending time with me. So thank you so much. The way that you support this podcast by talking about it, telling your friends about it, following it, liking it, it just means so much to me. Thank you. So this past, I think since the middle of the summer, you know I'm always living in cycles and seasons and tuning in to the energies around. For me, that's what this witchy path is all about. Living in flow, living with the rhythms of nature and of our bodies and of our inner seasons and the outer seasons in the world. I had a lot of plans this summer, and the shifts and changes and growth that is happening for me kind of derailed those plans. And that's okay, because we embrace and we go forward. And this shift that I'm currently living through and living in brought about the topic for today. I want to unpack an idea that is entrenched in spiritual circles and healing circles and in these alternative spaces we come to heal and grow. And it's the idea that change must be catastrophic and painful and terrible and hard and full of tears and full of pain. And I don't believe this anymore. This is a belief I feel was handed to me at some point I think it's very prevalent in our culture. I think that a lot of us believe that metamorphosis must be a phoenix fire. It must be the chrysalis and the huge transformation and this dramatic, huge shift. And while I think that is part of healing, I do not think it is necessary to heal. Does that make sense to you, my love? The idea that we can change and we can grow and we can evolve gracefully, gradually, without suffering, without drama, without pain. Just let that sink in. And I'm going to circle back to what I know you guys are saying. I know that when we have hardships, we grow out of them. That is true. There are things in my life, there are lessons I have learned that I never would have learned if it were not for the trials and tribulations I went through. I gained a lot of wisdom and I grew a lot through some of the most difficult times of my life. But that is not because pain equals growth. It's because both you and I, and the examples of this, are people who have grown through pain. We have chosen to transform when we are tried by fire. Some people don't, and you are allowed to not grow whenever you want to. Growth is not a requirement for this life. And if you think that's not true, just look outside your door. Look outside your door at some of the complacency, some of the souls who are stuck in their stories and in their trauma and in their drama. Big T and little T trauma, big D and little d drama. We can choose at any point to not grow. We can choose, instead of rising above the trials and tribulations in our life, we can choose to buckle under them. We can, and some people do. I believe if you're here in my coven with me, you are dedicated to loving yourself, growing, expanding, and evolving, to using this incarnation to the best that you can in order to thrive. And as you expand and as you grow, to build up those around you, to inspire them, to heal with them, and to help tip the scales on this beautiful planet we're on to something more. I believe that if you're listening to the Witching Half Hour or so, it's not by mistake, and these are kinds of the things that are important to you. Synchronicity, witchcraft, that's how it works. Anyway, and I want to talk about this idea that our growth has to come out of suffering, because I see it when I'm doing readings. I see it when I'm counseling my clients. I see it in the spaces where people are healing. It is like we've attached to the idea that we must suffer in order to heal. And I want to tell you, you do not have to. You can rewrite that belief. You can look at it and do the shadow work on it. Why do you believe you must suffer? Why are you choosing suffering as a method to grow? And baby, I'm not talking about when bad stuff happens and circumstances happen and things happen and you choose to pick up the warrior energy and you choose to go forward and you thrive even though things have happened. I'm not talking about that energy because they're similar but different. So I want to be really clear. I'm not saying that you can't evolve from your pain. I'm not saying that our hardships don't teach us. What I'm saying is we can learn even when we're not suffering. Did you digest that? Okay, so I'm going to give you an example from my little witchy life. This has been a big summer for me. A lot of the things I talked about in our year ahead spread and in our monthly readings leading up to the summer have been coming to fruition for me. Spellcraft's abundance magic that I have been working on to improve my life, to bring joy and abundance and freedom, and to manifest the life I want to be living. Those manifestations have started to manifest. Things I've put out into the universe, spells wrapped up in bows, are now being opened, and these gifts are coming into my life. And with that, I am looking at my ideas. I'm looking at my belief systems. I'm stepping into this new life of mine. And that's work. It is. In big times of growth like this, when I'm stepping up and leveling up and having things manifest, I've learned that I need quiet time in the woods, downtime, creative time. I can't always produce. So in times where I'm evolving and growing and leveling up and I can feel the expansion, I know I need to pull back. I need to regroup. I need to spend time in reflection. I need to spend time in the forest. I need to make sure I'm connecting with friends and family. Otherwise, I get really hermity and I can go into some deep caves of thought that are difficult to find my way out of. So I believe as I felt this transition, I made a conscious effort to support myself through it so that there was no drama, there was no spinning out, there was no ugly rearing of my imposter syndromes. It was quiet, gentle, reflecting, because I don't need drama to grow. I really feel that you have suffered enough. And I believe that wholeheartedly. I do not need to know the details of the crooked path that got you here. I know that you have suffered enough. So I invite you to look at that idea, that collective idea we hold in our culture. And maybe through this eclipse portal we are in right now, maybe you can find the source of it. So this is where the witchcraft comes in, because we could do the psychology, we could do the unpacking, we can do that part, and I believe that's a good piece of it. But when we align with the cycles and seasons that are here to work with, we automatically enhance and power up the work we're doing. So let's talk about this eclipse energy that is bubbling around. This eclipse that's coming up, and I'm not the best at astrology. You guys know I depend on astrologers. I listen to their podcasts. I read their blog posts. I know a bit, but I am not an astrology master. I'm a tarot card slinging goddess. I am not a goddess of the stars. But I use the tools and I lean on the wisdom of those who shine in this craft. So this is a powerful eclipse because Aries is involved and the North Node is in Aries and the positions of the planet. So go look it up, okay? Because I'm going to butcher the information. But babe, go look it up. And then what eclipses do essentially is they are kind of like a superpowered moon energy. I'm going to say that better for you. I'm going to try to explain how beautiful and powerful the eclipse is using a metaphor, okay? So eclipses happen on full moons and new moons, right? We have solar eclipses and lunar eclipses. And even though you can't always see them from where you are, they still affect you, right? That powerful energy is still happening in our cosmos, and it's affecting us, and we can harness it, right? So the thing about eclipses is, if we look at the full moon and how the full moon, the magical idea behind it is that she radiates this beautiful light, and we can see in the darkness. And try it when you're camping. Go camping on a full moon where there's no light pollution. When the moon rises, you will actually have enough light that you can make a shadow. I've been on beaches on full moons where there's no light around, and suddenly we have shadows on the beach because the full moon's light is that bright. It shows us things we can't see under regular light. It shows us a shadow, a soft shadow in the darkness. So full moons are fantastic for release work, and they're really good at showing us what we can't see in the daytime. Now add the eclipse energy into that, and it's like supercharging that idea of the hidden, the shadow. Okay? So to give it a different metaphor, think about Super Mario Brothers, right? When you're running along and you're a little Mario and you hit the question box and the mushroom pops out, you get to be a big Mario. Now, if you're already a big Mario and you run up to that little question box and you hit it, something cooler comes out, like a fire power flower, right? So think about the eclipse like that. It's like the full moon, but supercharged. It's going to show you even more intensely the things that are hidden. You can learn things about your energy, your patterns, your magic, your life. You can learn about them better during the eclipse than you can at any other times. Is it intense? Oh yeah, it can be intense. But I find if we are open to the energy and we come to it with curiosity, deep compassion for ourselves, and holding the truth that growth does not have to be suffering, it's easier. It's an energy we can ride through and honor and deal with. I also don't do a lot over the eclipses other than observing. Observe and love myself. Observe and have compassion. Observe, give myself grace. Be curious, have compassion. That's the whole energy of the eclipse for me. And do I have stuff coming up? Oh my goddess, friends, do I ever. I have a lot of old beliefs that I'm looking at, and I'm just watching them and going, oh, isn't that interesting that I see that old belief I thought I dealt with is coming up in this area, this new area that I didn't know it was operating in. And then I'm going to be gentle with myself. And in October, I'm going to do some pretty big release work, because there's lots that I'm learning by being open and compassionate and holding on to the truth that I do not need to suffer to grow. Okay, how does that sit for you, my beautiful coven? How is that witchy lesson for this moon? I really hope that you're doing well. I hope that you are graceful with your own growth and what comes up for you. That you can have deep compassion, because it's pretty amazing that you are able to even come to the realizations you're coming to. If you are seeing what you need to release, if you're seeing your patterns and the places where you need to do a little bit of work on yourself, that alone is more than most people do. So give yourself some credit. Yeah. I think that's my show for this moon. I think that's all I wanted to say to you, other than I appreciate you so much And I'm always, always interested to hear what's going on with you guys. So keep the comments and the messages coming on all the platforms. I'm on TikTok, not as frequently, but I'm there. And I'm on Instagram quite a bit. And I've got the Earbud Coven group on Facebook. If you Google the Witching Half Hour or so, all of those things will come up on all of those platforms. And I'm really hoping I'm going to have the energy to start recording monthly readings for you again and weekly Tarot Tuesdays. I really want to. I just feel at this point it's a little more important to offer you this new class in October. And maybe we'll do a tarot class in November, or for the solstice, we'll do something special. We'll just have to see how things unfold as we keep going with the flow of this year. Okay, my loves, have a beautiful rest of your day, and blessed be. Is going to be over soon. Oh, I bumped my mic. Stop talking with your hands. Okay, here we go. That's how I'm going to explain this. Okay, hang on, stay with me. Mic bumps again. I keep bumping my mic because I'm really excited about what I'm talking about. And those around you, include yourself. Don't say it like that. That's weird. I'll be hosting a live Messages from Spirit Halloween. Let me get the name of it. Oh my gosh, why do I not have the name here? Living in Flow, Living with Nature. I bumped my mic again.